McFatter Technical High School students and families. It is Thursday, November 4th, and we are here with your monthly update on all things McFatter Technical High School. I am Jeanette Johnson, the director and principal here at McFatter Technical College and Technical High School. With me, as always, is our magnet coordinator, Miss Lily DeCastro.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Castro. And literally just before we started filming, Mr. Harris was also with us, the assistant director over the high school, but he got pulled away with an emergency situation. So unfortunately, he is not with us today. So Mr. Castro and I will be attempting to pick up the slack. So I want to welcome everyone to November. It is a month of Thanksgiving. Hard to believe that we are through the late summer, early fall, and well into the holiday season. November is always one of my favorite months. It's also often the favorite month of many of our students because it comes with several days off. So I wanted to mention that right out of the gate so I don't forget. We spend the month in thanks and gratitude. So that includes both Thursday, November 11th, when we are off in thanks and gratitude in honor of Veterans Day. And then for Thanksgiving, of course, as was done last week, we are off for the entire week. So from Monday the 22nd all the way through Friday the 26th, students and staff will all be off. There will be a skeleton crew here on campus, myself included, on the Monday and Tuesday of that week if people need to reach out for anything, but officially the schools are closed. So we want to make sure everyone marks those days, enjoys those holidays, enjoys time with family, and takes the opportunity to reflect on all the many blessings that so many of us have in our lives. Let's dive into some school-related work, and let's start by talking about closeout of grades from first quarter and updating here for the second quarter. So I know Mr. Castro wanted to remind families regarding dates around first quarter report cards as well as second quarter interims.
Okay, thank you. So on November 12th, the report cards for the first quarter will come out. They are going to be found on Virtual Counselor. They're going to use what we did last year. It will all be online through the student Virtual Counselor accounts. Parents should have access, and if you don't, sit with your students. It might be better to sit with them anyway to go through the report cards. So November 12th for those. And then 1 week later, we're halfway through the second quarter. On November 19th, we will have our interim reports. I am not sure yet how that information will be released, if it's paper-based or digital. We will know that closer to that time.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I also wanted to provide an update on the mask policy. I think most people are aware of it by now because it did get a lot of coverage, but just in case people haven't heard, as of Monday of this week, the mask policy has been changed by the school board at technical colleges and all district high schools. So obviously it applies to our campus. The school board met last week. Remember, we're conducting this recording on Thursday, November 4th. So the board met last week, and for technical colleges and for high schools only, the school board changed the policy so that masks as of Monday of this week are now strongly encouraged but no longer required. And that is true of students, visitors, family members, as well as staff. So as of Monday of this week, masks became strongly encouraged but not required for all. I will say, just anecdotally, watching what's going on, most of our students and staff are continuing to wear them, but it is now optional on our campus. A parent opt-out is not required. The student, him or herself, can decide whether or not to wear the mask. So that is the new policy as of Monday. Of course, this continues to evolve. The school board has said from the start of the pandemic that they would update their policies and procedures on an ongoing basis based on conditions in the community. I think this was done because the conditions in the community have gotten better, and because everyone high school aged or above is now eligible for a vaccine if they wish to take that precaution. I think it was for that reason that the board changed the policy, which also means the board could change it again if community conditions change. Hi, Mr. Harris. Thanks for joining us. I was explaining at the beginning that you had to leave us right before we started recording, so glad you were able to pipe in. So anyway, that is the current status on the mask policy here on campus. We also wanted to look towards next year. Believe it or not, it is important to be planning for next school year for those who aren't already in our school but would like. So I know Mr. Castro has some magnet updates in terms of a little spotlight we're going to be in, as well as the application process for next school year. So Mr. Castro.
I just uploaded a video. Broward Schools Innovative Programs is going to spotlight McFatter on the 9th through their social media. So if you subscribe to any of their social media, you will see our first TikTok video we ever made. So that is going to be shared on the 9th. Because just after that, it's a whole month later, but on December 1st, but before we record again, our applications will open for the schools. For all magnet programs. So December 1st at 8 a.m., they open the applications and they will be open until February 1st. I highly encourage anyone who's even considering McFatter to apply within that window, because even through COVID, we had a wait pool. Late applicants did not get an opportunity because you always have to exhaust your first applicant pool before any late applicants get considered. Doesn't matter if you are perfect, level 5, straight A's, you have an equal chance as anyone else who meets criteria.
And so I want to make sure, obviously, I would assume that the majority, if not everyone who's watching this video, is a current student or a family member of a current student. So one thing I want to make clear is current students don't have to reapply to enroll. They'll remain enrolled. However, one thing that might be of interest to the people who are watching this video is the sibling policy. So can you explain how the sibling policy works?
So any sibling who meets criteria of a student who is returning to the school next year, so seniors, you can't help your younger brothers or sisters. They have priority over anyone else in random selection, provided they apply on time in the first round. But they do verify. Siblings do not mean your friend who's like a brother or sister. You know, one of the parents must match in the system for siblings to count.
Great.
For that.
So a sibling must apply and must meet criteria. As long as they do that by the deadline, and the older sibling will still be with us in the 22-23 school year, that younger sibling would then automatically get in and not have to go through the lottery selection process, correct?
They will be selected first, and then they do a random selection from everybody else.
From everyone else, but the siblings have already been admitted at that point.
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
perfect.
And if for some reason they don't, and there's an error that happens, they need to let me know so I can petition for them and get it fixed, because that has happened before. Perfect. And right behind that is our open house on December 7th, where we are actually going to we're going to see what our numbers look like. We might do it in 2 groups this year to help to accommodate for space. Our tech teachers will be out that day for anyone who's new to the school. But also for 10th graders, we're going to do like a early spotlight tech fair to give the current 10th grade families an opportunity to see the tech programs as well before making that decision. So December 7th.
So the event on December 7th is for non-current students who are considering applying, and current 10th graders are going to be invited in order to get some exposure to our tech programs before they make their tech selection.
Correct. So the current 10th graders will have from like 5:30 to 6:30, and then the new students will be here 6:30 on. So just read our weekly emails and you'll get the details.
Right. So more information will come out, but basically what we want you taking away from this right now is put it on your radar that that event is going to be for current 10th graders, not current 9th, 11th, or 12th graders. It's not parent night open house.
No.
And so it's for current 10th graders as well as not current students who are interested in attending.
Correct.
With more information to follow. Great. All right, the next item we wanted to do is we wanted to give all of our families a heads up about the state administered end of course exams that are coming up. Mr. Harris, that was one of the items you were going to speak to, so I don't know if it's putting you on the spot since you joined us, but could you go over that schedule and explain which courses have an EOC attached to them?
Absolutely, and hello again, everyone. So I'll go over the assessment schedule. In general, I know testing seems like it's going on all the time in the fall, in the spring, but it does give us a good opportunity to assess our students, to also get those results, and then provide additional support for them if they need it in a particular area. It also keeps us aware of, how well we're doing as a staff and our teachers. We're providing the best, education to our students. So with that being said, most of these tests will take place in December, but we wanted to mention that now because we want to give you enough notice prior to meeting with you again in early December. But the first exams will be Algebra 1 EOCs and Geometry EOCs. Those will take place on December 6th and December the 7th. And then we will have U.S. History EOCs on December the 8th. Biology EOCs on December the 9th. And then we will have, this is the first time we're required to provide this assessment, and this is for our seniors. And this is a Florida Civics Literacy exam. That's for our 12th graders. And this will be offered in the fall and the spring. For those students that have U.S. government, they will take the test. And for the fall students, this will take place on December the 12th. Now, being that this is the first time that our students are taking this assessment, there's no pass or fail. It's basically to get data, and also, number one, to provide, where our students are knowledgeable in this particular area. So although it's required that students take this exam, it would not affect their graduation one way or the other. So those are the dates. As far as the assessments, I'll make sure that Mr. Castro also posts these dates on our website. This is a reminder for our parents and our students. Ms. Johnson, you want me to go over some other key dates that we also have, or any questions about these dates?
Mr. Castro already did those before.
Got it. Okay, well, thank you.
I do want to reiterate that the algebra and geometry EOCs are 2-day tests, whereas the others are 1-day tests. So when Mr. Harris referenced 2 subjects and 2 dates, the algebra students will test on the 6th and the 7th, and then geometry on the 6th and 7th.
Correct.
And I just want to say, on the subject of the civic literacy test, I just want to ask our students, you hear it's not really required for graduation, it's not going to count for against you, and sometimes that leads students to not take it seriously. As Mr. Harris just said, this is an important test to give us a year of baseline data. So we're just going to ask our seniors, even though we know it's not going to count for you, please take it as seriously as possible to give us an accurate picture of what kind of civic literacy knowledge our students currently have. That will allow us to change and tweak future instruction for the future years when it does count for the students for graduation. So please take it seriously.
Very, very, very good point. Very good point.
Okay, I believe the last item we wanted to talk about, we wanted to mention briefly the parent pickup line. For those of you who've been with us in the pickup line since the start of the year, we've appreciated your patience as we've changed things and tweaked things. And you may have noticed recently, we had put in some traffic cones that helped facilitate the exit out of our lot after you pick up your child and back onto Nova Drive. And it really was helping traffic. However, Davie Code Enforcement informed us we weren't allowed to have those traffic cones out, and we were required to take them away. That's why we had to pull them, just in case you wondered why it went back to a little more chaotic. It was due to code enforcement telling us we could not have the cones on the street. We are also not allowed to have our SRO, our campus officer, directing traffic. What we have done is we have requested of the town of Davie a traffic study. We have requested either a light at that exit, or at the very least a school zone during certain hours of the day to slow down the traffic. We don't control whether or not we get either one of those. It is up to the town of Davie. They do a complete assessment of the traffic throughout the day and at certain times of the day, and they determine whether the amount of traffic meets the criteria for either one of those items. So we have requested that. We requested it once before many years ago and it was denied, but we have more parents than ever driving students. So we don't know if it's going to change things this year. So we will keep you posted on that. But we did want to explain, if some of you were wondering why we took away those cones after they seemed so helpful, we wanted you to know what had happened there. And I think that was all we wanted to cover today, correct?
That's it.
Okay, so we will sign off for November. Our next video will come out on Thursday, December 2nd. So right there at the beginning of December. In the meantime, between now and then, of course, enjoy your time off on Veterans Day and the week with your family. Take the time to rest, rejuvenate, reflect on your blessings. I want to say thank you to all of you. I am grateful to be able to work at an incredible school with incredible colleagues, incredible staff members, and amazing students and families. You are all someone I am truly grateful for. It has been tremendous benefit to my professional life to be able to work here at McFatter. So I am thankful for all of you, as well as my own family and my own health and well-being. But I want to mention here in this month of Thanksgiving, how grateful I am for all of you. Mr. Castro, Mr. Harris, any final words?
You said it well. I echo your sentiments. So.
We are thankful for you. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy the rest of November, and we will see you back here on December 2nd. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.